Co-Chair Hass and members of the committee, for your record, my name is Sara Gelser. I'm the state senator from Corvallis and Albany, Philomath, and the surrounding areas. House Bill 2830, with the -2 amendment, represents months of work between leaders in the Oregon House and Senate to find a compromise that solves the current $1.4 billion budget shortfall and finally addresses the state's long-standing structural budget problems. It incorporates input from Oregon's businesses and labor groups about how to move the state forward. It also moves forward along with very strong proposals around cost containment and PERS. Thank you to Senator Hass, Speaker Kotek, and the other legislators who worked hard to get this proposal right. The bill is responsive, thoughtful, and deliberative, and is exactly the kind of work that our constituents expect of us. We have faced years of inadequate and unstable budgets, not just in our schools, but in critical services that vulnerable Oregonians depend on. An area of deep concern for me is our child welfare system, which is woefully underfunded, under-resourced, understaffed, and undermanaged. This is a disservice to the kids we serve and to the dedicated staff that are working so hard to try to help them. Over the last 2 years, my work has focused on our child welfare system. We've seen the headlines and read tragic stories about kids put in danger by a system that is not adequately funded or set up to support them. Child welfare caseworkers are facing unmanageable caseloads, and children are getting left behind, and unfortunately, sometimes they're even dying. Kids can't reach caseworkers when they are in trouble, not because caseworkers don't care, but because there aren't enough people or even the adequate technology to support them. Kids don't have adequate foster placements because there aren't enough certifiers to recruit, certify, and support appropriate foster placements and foster homes. In the worst case scenarios, which happens all too often every month, this lack of placements drives kids into hotels and conference rooms, and in some cases, even into juvenile detention centers. Our kids are jailed not because they've committed a crime, but because they were abused or neglected or need access to mental health services, and there is no place else for them to go. This is immoral, but it is the system that we have all purchased. When a child or youth is in crisis, it doesn't matter to that child that we have a broken revenue system. It doesn't matter to them that tax votes in the 90s damaged our ability to fund basic services. And what really doesn't matter to these children and youth is the partisan politics inside the marble bubble of the Oregon State Capitol. All they know is that they have been let down by the very people who are supposed to be protecting them, us. That's all of us. That is not a partisan statement. That is all of us. But today, colleagues, we can choose to lift these vulnerable kids up instead of letting them down. We can solve this long-standing crisis. We have all the pieces sitting right here in front of us. We just need to make the decision to adequately fund our schools and the basic services that our most vulnerable depend on and most of our citizens believe is our basic government responsibilities. I am ready to vote for this revenue package and take some other very difficult votes because I lay awake at nighttime, rolling over and over in my head the stories of youth and families who contact me with life stories that are absolutely unimaginable in my life experience, and I hope also in yours. What is also unimaginable to me is the idea that we would go home after doing nothing to fix it. Our community members are depending on us. Just look behind me. I'm proud to be joined here this evening by my colleagues, but also by parents, teachers, students, small business owners, business leaders, healthcare and human services advocates, faith leaders, and many, many others in this room and the overflow rooms. I also want to point out that we have testimony on OLIS from elected officials and community leaders from all over the state in support of this proposal. These people are from rural, suburban, and urban parts of the state. They serve on school boards, college boards, county commissions, city councils, and chambers of commerce. It's important to note that despite their differences in background and religion and party affiliation, they are all chiming in to say that this is the plan that Oregon needs to move forward. Momentum is building to move ahead with revenue reform and long-term cost containment this session. I am ready to take those difficult votes and go back home and defend them. And I hope you will join me in working to find a path forward so that we can finally fix these problems that have plagued us for far too long. We have the power to do it. Thank you, Senator Hass.
Thank you.